Imagine waking up one morning to find that your destiny is written in the stars, and no matter what you do, you can't escape it. Sounds a bit like a scary movie, doesn't it? But for ancient civilizations, this was a reality they lived with every day. The idea that the movements of celestial bodies could dictate the course of human life was not just a belief. It was a science, and it was called astrology. This journey through the history of astrology will explore how it evolved from the earliest forms of prophecy, why it was a step forward in the world of science, and how it influenced the lives of people in ancient civilizations, particularly in Babylon and Rome. In the early days of human civilization, the world was a mysterious and often terrifying place. People sought answers to the unknown, and one of the most powerful tools they found was prophecy. Prophecy was a way to glimpse the future and make sense of the present. One of the earliest forms of prophecy was osteomancy, a practice that involved examining the bones of sacrificed animals to predict the future. In Sind, in the valley of the Indus, osteomancers would divide the shoulder blade of a sacrificed sheep into 12 areas, each representing a different aspect of life. If the bone was clear and smooth in the first area, it was a good omen, indicating that the person would be virtuous. If the bone showed signs of distress in the second area, it meant that the person's herds would be threatened by robbers. This practice was a complex and intricate way to interpret the will of the gods. Another form of prophecy was hepatoscopy, which involved examining the liver of a sacrificed animal. This practice was particularly popular among the Assyro-Babylonians and later the Romans. The liver, with its large size, interesting shape, and heavy burden of blood, was seen as a powerful organ that could reveal the future. A bronze model of a sheep's liver found in Piacenza, Italy, is covered with inscriptions indicating what each part of the liver could foretell. This model is a testament to the elaborate and detailed nature of ancient divination practices. While these methods of prophecy were deeply rooted in ritual and sacrifice, they were limited in their scope. They were often used to predict the outcomes of specific events or to answer specific questions. Astrology, on the other hand, offered a more comprehensive and systematic approach to understanding the future. Astrology was based on the idea that the movements of celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, and planets had a continuous and regular influence on events on Earth. This was a significant step forward because it introduced the concept of periodic, repetitive, and invisible forces, similar to those that would later be described in modern science. The Babylonians were among the first to develop a sophisticated system of astrology. They were fascinated by the heavens and saw the sky as a stage for the dramatic events of the gods. The evening star, which we now know as the planet Venus, was imagined as a luminous lion that roamed the sky from east to west. According to Babylonian mythology, the great god El, jealous of the lion's brightness, would have it killed every morning. This myth is reflected in the Old Testament, where Lucifer, the morning star, is described as falling from heaven due to his pride. The Babylonians saw the heavens as a reflection of the divine, and they believed that the movements of the stars and planets had a direct impact on human affairs. The Greeks further developed astrology into a science. They divided the sky into 12 signs of the zodiac, and assigned each sign a specific influence over different parts of the human body. For example, Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, was believed to govern the head, while Taurus, the second sign, was thought to influence the neck and throat. This system of correspondences between the heavens and the human body was a significant advancement in the field of astrology. The Greeks also developed the concept of personal astrology, known as judicial astrology, which involved casting a person's horoscope based on the positions of the heavenly bodies at the moment of their birth. However, astrology was not without its critics. Greek anti-astrologers, such as the Epicureans, argued that the names assigned to the stars were arbitrary and that the same astral forces should govern all living beings, not just humans. They also pointed out the difficulty of explaining why twins who are born at the same time often have different fates. Despite these criticisms, astrology continued to gain influence, particularly in ancient Rome. In Rome, astrology reached a level of popularity and influence that it had never seen before. Astrologers, known as Chaldei or mathematician, were a recognized profession, and their services were in high demand. However, Their power also made them a target of suspicion and fear. In 139 B.C., the Roman Senate expelled all astrologers from Rome and Italy due to their growing influence and the potential danger they posed. Despite this, many emperors, including Augustus and Tiberius, relied on astrologers to guide their decisions. The Roman historian Ammianus Marcellinus noted that even after the official conversion of the empire to Christianity, many people still consulted astrologers to determine the best times for bathing, dining, and other daily activities. The most influential figure in the history of astrology was Ptolemy, a Greek astronomer and mathematician who lived in Alexandria during the 2nd century A.D. Ptolemy's work, particularly his treatise on astrology, the Tetrabiblos, became the standard textbook for astrologers for over 1,000 years. Ptolemy saw the influence of the stars as a purely physical phenomenon, one of many forces that shaped human events. He emphasized the need for careful observation and the use of mathematics to make accurate predictions. His work laid the foundation for the scientific approach to astrology, and his influence extended far beyond his own time. Ptolemy's contributions to astronomy and geography were equally significant. His Almagest, a comprehensive treatise on astronomy, provided a detailed description of the movements of the stars and planets. His Geography, which aimed to map the entire known world, introduced the concept of latitude and longitude, and offered a systematic method for projecting spherical surfaces onto flat maps. Despite the errors in his geocentric theory of the universe and his belief that dry land comprised most of the Earth's surface, Ptolemy's work remained a crucial reference for scientists and scholars for centuries. The influence of astrology on ancient societies was profound. It provided a framework for understanding the world and a sense of control over the uncertainties of life. In a world where natural disasters, wars, and famines were common, the ability to predict the future was a powerful tool. Astrology also played a role in religion, as it was seen as a way to communicate with the gods and understand their will. The belief that the stars and planets influenced human affairs was a bridge between the material and the spiritual, a way to connect with the divine. However, the rise of Christianity and the scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries marked a significant decline in the influence of astrology. The Church viewed astrology as a form of superstition and a threat to the doctrine of free will. The scientific discoveries of Copernicus, Galileo, and others challenged the geocentric model of the universe and the idea that the movements of the stars and planets had a direct influence on human affairs. Despite this, astrology continued to have a following, and it has experienced a resurgence in modern times. In conclusion, astrology was a crucial step in the development of human understanding of the world. It bridged the gap between the mystical and the scientific, offering a way to make sense of the unknown and find meaning in the chaos of life. While it may not be a science in the modern sense, it was a significant part of human history and continues to capture the imagination of people today. The journey from the sacrificial bones of ancient Sind to the star charts of Ptolemy is a testament to the human quest for knowledge and the eternal search for meaning in the vast and mysterious universe.